So after months of hearing absolutely nothing about XDefiant, we finally got an update. I'm not going to lie, it is a pretty bad update. And so today I'm going to just break down everything that was said, both from Tom Henderson as well as actually from Mark Rubin as well. So some of this is official stuff, some of this is essentially a leak, but it all seems to be real, and therefore I'm going to talk about it. Now, this all started with Tom Henderson saying he has an exclusive inbound in 30 minutes, and he had a capital X and a capital D in there. So that was very clear that that was going to be about XDefiant. He has then since posted that exclusive is an article titled "What's Going On with XDefiant." So I'm going to read that through for you guys, break down essentially everything that he said in there, and then also talk about Mark Rubin because he actually kind of responded to this, and there has been kind of a bit of ongoing discussion since then. So reading through the article, he says in September 2023, Ubisoft had a free-to-play gem on their hands, XDefiant. The gameplay was good, the community was bustling, transparency from the developers was highly praised, and most of all, the game had a really passionate and dedicated community. 6 months on and things are somewhat different for XDefiant, with fans increasingly expressing their frustrations with the lack of updates. According to Ubisoft's Q3 2024 earnings report, XDefiant is scheduled to be released by the end of Q4 2024, which is March 31st, 2024, but with just 1 week until the date, there's been zero indication of a release. The once loathed transparency is now seemingly dead, and XDefiant hasn't had an update for some time. Speaking with developers at Ubisoft who wish to remain anonymous because they are not authorized to speak about company plans, it's understood that XDefiant was aiming to release during the last week of February, when this internal release date was made public via Ubisoft's earnings call, a deadline that was obviously missed. Insider Gaming understands that XDefiant has missed dozens of internal targets in the past couple of years, including release dates, putting the game firmly in the realm of other Ubisoft titles that is constantly in limbo. Developers working on the project are becoming increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress, and in short, the game's shortcomings stem from the executives' pursuit of trying to copy Call of Duty rather than building their own game. Creatively, it's frustrating for the team, but from a technical perspective, it also presents new challenges and has become the main reason for delays. The never-ending hunt to chase COD and add pointless stuff always breaks the current build, said one source, which often then requires days of fixing the game. As is generally always the case with games in limbo, the root of the problem comes from the higher-ups, with the developers left with the burden. In truth, if you're a fan of XDefiant, I would be a little more wary in the future of the whole open transparency thing, as it usually has bigger implications that doesn't reflect what's truly going on. So the big question, when will XDefiant release? It's a great question and is likely why Ubisoft has been silent on the matter for months, because in short, I don't think even they know. The good news is that the game isn't in danger of being cancelled, and development is still ongoing at its usual rate. In fact, just today, XDefiant had a substantial playtest to test the netcode, online store, social media tabs, and the current plan is to have another large open public test session as soon as possible. So while I don't have any internal release dates right now, and to be honest, it'd be pointless saying anyway, we're probably still a good few months from release, as feedback from the next public test session is taken on board. So that is the entire article from Tom Henderson. It was pretty in-depth there. The stuff that he mentioned about Call of Duty and the fact that they're kind of chasing Call of Duty is not the best to hear, to be honest. And anyway, that has actually led to a reply from Mark Rubin. I'm sure you all know by now, but for those who don't, Mark Rubin is the executive producer on XDefiant. He's actually previously from Call of Duty. For those who don't know, he is the guy on the cover of the original Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2. So he has got threads in both Call of Duty and now obviously XDefiant as well. Now, his first reply to this was in reply to someone called Jaeger Has Curves on Twitter. He said, "Imagine chasing COD and then tagged XDefiant and Mark Rubin. The one thing we didn't want was this to be a COD reskin, drop the damn game and update it after we play. Crazy how this is still going on." Mark Rubin replied to that saying, "Just FYI, nothing about our delay is due to any new features. In fact, not much has changed from a gameplay standpoint. The delay has been due to the tech issues we've talked about. Whoever said chasing COD in Tom's report was a major eye roll." So that is very interesting there, the fact that one, he just replied to that in general, but he did confirm there that there is a delay. So it is officially confirmed now from Mark Rubin that the game is delayed, we are obviously not going to be getting it this week. Obviously, that is what Tom Henderson said, but you can never fully believe something that comes from a leak. However, this from Mark Rubin, we can absolutely believe. So the game is going to be delayed. How long for? I don't think we really know, but considering how correct Tom Henderson seems to have been so far, he did mention that it was still probably a few months away, which is definitely very disappointing to hear. Now, anyway, after that reply, Mark Rubin then went and just made a public tweet, so not replying to anyone, it was just a standard tweet, and he said a fair amount about what is going on. He said, "We have an update coming soon, probably coming this week. I know we've been silent because, to be honest, there hasn't been that much to talk about. I know people just want to see the game ship, and so do we. I can't wait to ship just so we don't have to talk about ship dates anymore and we can talk about more important stuff like gameplay balancing or new content, modes, maps, etc. Just to be clear, we are not just sitting around with the game fixing every last little bug. Nobody launches perfect bug-free games. We do our best, but it's not realistic to think that. We had major technical issues that we found right before we launched that had to be fixed. And that's what the team has been working on. They are not just minor bug fixes, but major infrastructure and full system overhauls. The game remains the same that you played already, which we have strived to make as fun as possible, which we feel confident about." So aside from questions about launch, which I can't talk about, I'm happy to chat about most anything else related to the game. For instance, I can confirm that no push has been made to put SBMM into the game. Our unranked playlist will still have no SBMM, and you will get the variety of gameplay that you see when there isn't SBMM. He finished up by saying, "Anyway, I hope everyone is having a great weekend, and thank you all for following XDefiant with so much passion. We love you all." So that is obviously a hell of a lot to break down there. There's been kind of explosive claims there from Tom Henderson saying that they're kind of chasing Call of Duty, potentially trying to put things into XDefiant that are, I guess you would say, quote unquote, stolen from Call of Duty. So certain mechanics and stuff like that we see in that game. Now, Mark Rubin seemed to think that was pretty much bullshit because he said it was a major eye roll. But yeah, it's hard to know which side of the story is actually true here. If Tom Henderson's inside information is correct, this is coming from someone within Ubisoft. So it is really hard to know who is correct right now. Generally, I would believe essentially everything that Mark Rubin has said because he was so transparent when this game sort of gained its initial steam. But honestly, since then, he's barely been talking about the game whatsoever. And yeah, it's at the point where I'm not too sure who to actually believe. So I thought I would just quickly update you guys on that. Like Mark Rubin said in his first tweet, we have an update coming soon, and then in brackets, probably coming this week. So this video is essentially just breaking down what has happened and kind of confirming a delay, but I will follow up when we actually get more news. In the article from Tom Henderson, it said that there is meant to be an open public test session as soon as possible. So there is potentially a lot of news to come. As much as this sucks that there is a delay, at least we are finally hearing something about the game. So weirdly, this could be a good thing. At least we're hearing something because it was getting pretty tiring just hearing absolutely nothing. And like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on all the news you need to know about XDefiant. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.